Hey guys, welcome to another day on the shop, or welcome for the first time. So we're gonna go look at something real quick. It's a pretty day outside. So let's go look at what I got. Alright, well, walking through my yard. Got you a workhorse as a vehicle. Yeah, right now she's loaded down with a pallet of rubber mulch. I'm doing my playground. I advise this is really expensive. So as you see though, let me go on the other side so you can actually see it. Got a 08 GMC Sierra. It is lifted 3.5 inches up front, 3 in the rear, blocks in the rear, and then spacers, coil spacers, and then strut spacers on the bottom to make my 3.5 inches. I want to change that soon to a lifted strut and get rid of those blocks, and I also want to put some shocks on the rear that I have so it gets rid of the stock shocks. My other issue I have right now, I got two other issues. One is my eBay headlights that I got originally. This is nasty. They're cracked. They're sun faded so bad you can't even sand them down or clean them up or anything. So I bought some new ones. And then the other thing down here is my boot to my CV axle. If you see all that grease up on the brake caliper and line and all that, it is busted. So with that, I've got a new boot. So yeah, that's what we're going to be doing, and hopefully knocking out. We've got other projects, many other projects, and some new stuff that I got and I'm excited for. So I'll give you a little sneak preview of certain things. Here's my box of headlights. I like the black styling, I don't like chrome. So black housing and just a regular old headlight. Other than that, no LEDs. My other ones had LEDs because I thought that would be cool, but break all that apart. Alright, so some new headlights. I hope these stay a little bit longer than those other ones. Set those there. And my other part, it's got a lot of AN line, but that's for the 240. So AN lines, filters and whatnot. So that's going to clean up some mess in there. I got a lot of mess in there I'm going to clean up. So, but we're going to move the convertible out in my axe, and we're going to have to pull the truck in and pop that CV axle out. And once we pop the CV axle out, take it apart, put the new boot on. Shouldn't take long for that. Headlights, they don't take long. The struts and stuff like that, I don't think I'm going to do today, which I didn't show y'all. Let me show you. Alright, so I got some rancheros. They're already ready to go. And then on top of that, whenever I bought these, because I bought them used, I got a set of rough countries that have never been used, and then some extra upper control arms and some ranchero shocks for the rear. So I've got everything for that lift, and I'll probably end up taking my lift off and selling it just to recoup a little bit of change back. So but that like I said, that'll be probably the next video. I want to try and create a better ride for my truck because it's kind of bouncy up front with all that pressure on that spring. On top of that, I need to order some control arms because my control arms aren't liking what I've done to it. So they need new ball joints, and so might as well just buy some rough country lift control arms, and that'll take care of that. Because, if you can see right here, the way this is angled, rough countries is brought up a little bit, and so it gets rid of this angle downward which compresses on the ball joint right there. Rough Country's is more flat, so it doesn't end up ruining your ball joint as easily, and it gives you a better alignment. So with that lift, you don't have to worry about it. And then I've got another one. Yeah, I forgot. I got a 1.5 or 1.25 inch body lift I'll probably put on, and then I'll move back up to 35s because I like my 33s, but I like the look of 35s. So I might have to get some new wheels and new tires, but that's in the future. So I gotta get all this stuff in here and get my daily back up and running. And in another episode, you'll see this with getting tuning, and we're gonna go hit the 10 psi and hopefully not cut out in the upper RPMs, because I don't like that. No, I don't know what that has to do with either spark plugs or what have you. So let's get back to that. Alright, well, after removing the wheel, we're going to pop this little dust cap off, and then we're going to start the process of removing the axle nut. And once we do that, we will begin the procedure. So, alright, there we go. This is a 35 millimeter nut. I've got a 36. I'm hoping it'll fit because I've got to take this thing off. So let's pop this thing off. So my 36 fits, but it's a little loose, but I think I can pop it loose with this. So there we go. Off. Don't forget your little washer. There we go. Alright. Now this should move back and forth. Get my mallet on it. But the next thing, the easiest way, is to pull this strut out, and I guess we're going to replace this strut with my 3-inch lift strut. So we'll pull this out, we'll measure everything up and see where we're at, and yeah, we'll put everything back in the way it's supposed to go, and hope for the best. Alright, well, 17 millimeter bolt holds the bottom of the strut, 18 millimeters up top. So that's what we're going to do next. And then we're going to pop this strut out and pull this axle off, redo the boot on it, as well as, yeah, then we'll reinstall probably the rancheros, just see how they are. If I don't like them, I'll go to the Rough Countries. It's not difficult to change these out. As you see, there's 5 bolts on each side. And all it is lifting it up, changing the strut out, put it back in. So the next thing I got to do is get control arms, but we're not doing that today. And I think I need a new hub on this side, possibly. So I might be ordering me another hub from Detroit axle. Like I think I did the driver's side already. I think, I'm not sure. It's either driver's side or passenger side. I can't remember which one it was. Yeah, I got a little wiggle. So it's either from ball joint up top, and it's more than likely what it's from, not the hub itself, but I'm not sure yet until I put the wheel back on and play with it some more. So we're going to check my brakes, pop this strut off, and then replace everything. So let's get back to it. Forgot to mention that the bolts that go to the axle right here, they're 15 millimeter. They don't have a nut on the backside. They bolt straight into the flange on the backside, so we're going to pop all those out while we have everything like we have it, and then we'll pull the strut out. I did strip a bolt, so I'm hoping I have an extra bolt. I should have a stock bolt for this, since I'm putting a stock strut assembly style back in, so it doesn't have a spacer at the bottom of it. So yeah, I'm going to do all these bolts now. Another note, if you haven't removed the wheel or tire and you're doing it up under the car without taking all this off yet, you can take those off because you have to torque on them to get them off. So I got a pry bar I'm gonna stick right here, and as this turns it will lock up and I won't have an issue with pulling those off. So that's what I'm going to do now. So now I should be able to get it off. Alright, and if you, my dog's barking. If you have a lifted truck, this is a good investment. So it's a stool from Harbor Freight. Yeah, and it helps to lift the truck. Makes it a lot easier to get in here. There's my strut. I can't remember what bolts are in there. I had to get my flashlight. I think it's an Allen head. So it's good because I have a Tool Tuesday with Allen heads, and that's what we'll be using. So we'll get to test all that out. Yep, Allen heads. All right. Well, we have some ratchet style Allen heads, and that's what Tool Tuesday's about. Check out Tool Tuesday if you haven't, after this episode of how to work on your truck way too much. So let's get back to it. All right, well, we are getting these bolts out. I've already gotten one out. This is an 8mm hex head. We're gonna look down here. Oh, excuse me guys. Oh, sorry for the crappy videography that I'm doing. All right, pop this sucker on here, go all the way down, see if I can get it in there. All right, so all the bolts are off the strut. Move my awesome tool, get up under here. All right, let's see. This thing's still snug up in here, and that's only because of the fact of that that little bracket right there, and I had to use a pry bar to get it in. So if I use a pry bar, I can get it out, and then we'll stuff the other one in, hopefully, and it should work just as easily, just as good. So let me pop these bolts out if I can, and get this in here the way I need to. So yeah, yep, let's do that. Well, I ran into an issue. I'm gonna have to pop this top control arm off because this is too tight on here, and once I do that I should be able to pop the axle however I need to do as well. So it's just one more bolt. I'm gonna hammer this from the side, pop this thing out, and we'll go from there. So let's do that. There she is. Well, that was an 18mm, and if you saw, it shot off. This upper ball joint looks okay. It shouldn't be this loose. So yeah, and then I've got this ABS sensor which is holding me back. There we go. Got too much tightness on it. So I'm going to pop this out now and pop this off, and this whole strut should fall out. So now that we have some play, we should be able to get it out. So let's do that. Well, that just all fell apart. I need a new bolt. Look at that thing. Alright, well, that popped out. The aluminum looks still good. Oh, the strut fell out as well. So, see if we can finagle it up or down or whichever way. No! Ouch. There we go. Stock strut out. Now the axle should just slip on out. Turn this a little bit. So it tore itself down here at the base, it looks like. And it's not bad, but enough to where I want to replace it because it's leaking out grease. So we're going to cut these bands off. There should be a snap ring up here, and as soon as the snap ring comes off, this whole shaft should fall out, and then we'll get the new bellow and strap it on. Let's do that. Alright, so what's on there? I'm going to clean it off one more time because I still got a little bit of grease on it. But all in all, it looks like it's going to hold. And slap this thing back in there and find my other bolts, and then we'll finish this lift up. So let's get this thing back in there. Well, here's all three lined up. The Ranchero looks like it's about 1/2 inch taller, as you see, about 1/2 inch taller than the stock strut. But then you look down here, and the Rough Country is a good solid inch higher than the stock strut. So not sure which way I want to go with this. Yeah, probably go with the Rough Country. I gotta pop the top hat off that, or off my stock one, which I'll probably do. And once I do that, we'll see the height of it towards what these are, because I gotta get these struts off or the springs off anyway. So let's disassemble the stock strut and we'll go from there. Well, I'm killing batteries, so I've got this mostly on there. Yeah, these are tight. This is some big spring. So spring compressors. I need an actual one. I need like a hydraulic one. So as we wait, go ahead and pop both headlights off and replace them with these. I've probably already shown you all these, but they're new. And yes, they're eBay. I'm just hoping they last longer than these. They may or may not. I don't know. So I probably need to put a coating on them because these are nasty. You can hear that's yeah, they're very textured now. So I'm gonna get my 10 mil out and replace these and make my truck go from one look to another, and then a wheel, because I'm missing my wheel. But I guess while I'm waiting on that strut, I could probably just put that axle in and be done with that axle too. So yeah, let's knock the axle out and the headlights out and let these batteries charge, and then we'll pop that strut off, and then we'll start the process on this side and see how it works out. So let's do that. Well, I didn't do that yet. I did this. So look at the size difference. So yeah, that should be a 3.5 inch lift. So I don't need a spacer. Yeah, that's good. I got the axle positioned because I was scared that I couldn't put that in. So let me find some bolts, and I should have some in the kit, maybe, that will fit the bottom of this, and then if I can find that, I will be done with this one. And then I need to put my battery back on charge because my Milwaukee impact is a lot more powerful than my DeWalt impact. Plus, it's a lot newer too. So, yeah, quality tools. I like both. Yeah. Anyway, back to it. All right, here's a long update. Forgot how tough it is to get a 3.5 inch lift in this thing with pushing down, so had to remove the brake caliper so I didn't rip that line out. Had to unhook the ABS sensor. Had to unhook the sway bar. And yeah, now I've got this in. I got to tighten those bolts down. Once I tighten those bolts down, put the sway bar back on, put the axle back in, put the brake caliper back on, cinch everything up. Done. I'm just hoping that this rides better now that it's not compressed like a madman, but it might ride the same. It just gets rid of a whole bunch of nonsense. So yeah, I'm gonna jack this up, put those lower bolts on the sway bar, Let's do it. Alright, well, the last thing I have to do is tighten up that nut and put the cover back over it, and that should be done. So that would be one side. So I'm not going to film the other side because it's exactly the same thing. A pain in the butt. That's what it is. And then I don't even have as much room over here as I do over there. I could pull the truck out and pull it back in. But I got to get this other strut on. I got to get the other one off, take it apart, put that one on, take everything off that I just did. Vice versa. Yep. So I'll leave that right that for just a moment. Let's switch out these headlights because I need to. So let's do this. All right, well, the back has the harness I need for the light, but the other part is I'm missing lights everywhere. So it's got all the plugs for it. If I can get these things off, I don't want to twist off. All right, I'm just going to get these out, and I've got to pull the other ones out on that. So let me grab those. Let me undo these, and we'll get done. I just noticed something. That's the passenger light. This is the driver's side. Let me grab the driver's side light. Well, I got it in. Doesn't line up as good as I want, but this is a wrecked truck, salvaged, so it works out. Those lines are pretty clean. They're clean enough. A spot of light right there. I got some blood on it. I'm bleeding. Nothing like blood, sweat, and tears on it, but look at it. It's nice. Let's turn on the lights. Let's check this out. Cool. All right. Shiny and bright. I just hope these don't fade within the year, and they probably will. Just like the last ones. Cheap plastic, eBay. Chinese made. So, yeah. There's you some cheap eBay plastic lights. If you want to keep some and spend $300, and you'll probably have a set for years, not a year. So I'm going to clean some of my mess up right here that I have, because I don't need these bolts anymore on this project. I don't need my 8mm one more time, and put all this back together, and yeah, nasty light. Let me do that real quick. Done. Look at that. Samesies. Didn't change a thing. Got both headlights in. Still got a little bit of blood on that. I'd take the bottom bumper grabber down here off both, because it just wasn't fitting with that bumper. Other than that, they work great. I leveled them out, brought the beam down because they were way up top. Yeah, and then did the strut, and it was a whole lot easier the second time than the first time. Rotate my tires. Now I just got to get upper control arms for the truck. I also have rear shocks, but I'm not putting them on today because I want to get some bellows for them. So yeah, pretty quick, pretty easy, pretty good. So I want to thank you for joining into another episode of The Shop. Check out Teespring, check out Instagram, check out Patreon, check out all the channels down below in the description. Thanks to OLSA Tools for supplying some tools for me to use, that I always use actually because I love them. Dynamic tools, they sent me that set. So check them out, use them, use all of them. Check out everything in the description. I'll put the boot down there. And I'll even put the rough country lift in there as well. So, but like I said, thanks for joining in, and until next time.